Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are pulling back the curtain on how billion-dollar fortunes get made. We're not just telling stories, we're breaking down the actual blueprints.
Okay, so let's just start with the most basic question, right? When you see someone with that level of wealth, is it just an accident? Pure luck, right place, right time?
Well, the source material we're looking at today says absolutely not. The argument is that this kind of power isn't random at all. It's engineered. It's the result of deliberate strategy, careful design, basically building a machine within the economic system.
So this is really the key. We're not looking at these as just, feel-good success stories. They're maps. Each person's journey is a different route to power, and every single map has its own terrain, its own risks, its own rules, and definitely its own rewards.
All right, so let's get into the first path. This one is all about controlling the physical world. I'm talking about wealth built on the actual tangible stuff that a country literally cannot run without. Think concrete, steel, cell towers, the basics.
And the perfect example of this is the industrial king. Think of someone like Aliko Dangote. See, you might start out just trading stuff like cement or sugar, but the real power play, that's when you start making it yourself. Suddenly, when the government wants to build roads or bridges, who do they have to call? You. This isn't about being flashy. It's about pure, raw leverage.
Now, this idea of titans of the tangible goes even further. You've got the resource master, the person who controls what gets pulled out of the ground, like gold or oil. Then there's the telecom builder, who owns the actual networks our calls and data run on. And maybe the most powerful of all, the quiet infrastructure titan. We're talking about the person who owns the runways, the ports, the shipping terminals. It's not sexy, but hey, if you own the port, every single container that passes through pays you. It's like a toll booth for the entire economy.
And this really gets to the core of why this path is so powerful. This kind of money doesn't have mood swings. It isn't volatile. It couldn't care less about the latest tech trend. Why? Because it's tied to things that don't change fast, like time, and the fact that the population keeps growing. It's stable, it's predictable, and it is baked into the very foundation of how things work.
Okay, let's switch gears completely. We're moving from the world of concrete and steel to the world of code and data. This second path to power is all about mastering the intangible systems, software, data, complex financial deals, stuff you can't touch, but that runs everything.
Now, what's fascinating here is that there are two totally different ways to build a fortune in tech. On one hand, you've got the tech founder. This is the brutal high-wire act. Think of Topa Awatona with Calendly. Every bug, every crash, it's all on you. Your product has to be amazing or you're done. But then on the other side, you have the tech capital allocator, like Robert F. Smith. This path is completely different. They don't start from zero. They buy companies that are already working, companies that are already printing money, and just optimize them. It's a much more insulated, predictable game. It's like capitalism with all the messy emotions stripped away.
And then there's this other really interesting archetype in the intangible world, the data strategist. Think of someone like Alex Karp from Palantir. These guys aren't selling an app you download on your phone. No, they sell insight. Their customers are governments, intelligence agencies, the people who need to make sense of a really complex and chaotic world.
And this is such a key idea. This is power adjacent to power. The data strategist isn't the one making the final call. They're not pushing the button, but their software, their dashboards, they define the reality for the people who do. And let me tell you, once a government or a massive corporation builds its entire decision-making process around your software, it becomes almost impossible to rip out.
Okay, time for our third path. And this one might be the one we see the most, but it's also the one that's most misunderstood. This is all about taking something fleeting, like fame or influence, and converting it into something real and lasting. Equity. Ownership.
And this quote right here just nails it. Ownership is sovereign. I mean, look at Tyler Perry. He realized, why am I going to audition for a role in someone else's movie when I can just own the entire studio, the land, the cameras, the whole production pipeline? See, getting cast means you need permission, but when you own it, you don't need anyone's permission for anything.
You see this model perfected with the brand idol. Take Rihanna. She didn't just slap her name on a makeup line. Step 1, she had massive trust with her audience. Step 2, she saw a huge gap in the market. Cosmetics just weren't inclusive. Step 3, she launched a product, Fenty, that solved that problem. And step 4, she converted all that fan loyalty directly into equity. It was a brilliant business move that addressed a real need.
And this path isn't just for pop stars. You see it with the athlete investor too. Think Michael Jordan, LeBron James. They figured out that a paycheck ends the day you stop playing, but equity in a company, that can grow forever. And then, at the complete opposite end of the spectrum, you have the quietest billionaire of all, the real estate compounder. No headlines, no drama, just patiently buying property, deal after boring deal, and letting it compound over decades.
All right, so let's pull all of this together. The final takeaway here is what's called the systems gap.
So we've looked at these different maps, right? The physical, the digital, the cultural. The common threat here isn't getting lucky with a stock pick. It's not about gambling. It's about one thing: control. Specifically, getting control of a choke point in a system. Whether it's controlling the cement production, the data flow, or the cultural narrative, if you control that critical point, you basically control the outcome.
And this all builds to what is probably the most powerful argument in the source material. It's not a talent gap, it's a systems gap. What that means is, the final outcome isn't just about how smart you are or how hard you work. It's about the system you're forced to operate in.
So, let's put some numbers to this. The combined wealth of every single black billionaire on the planet is roughly $90 billion. Now, that sounds like a huge number, and it is, until you realize that one single tech founder can be worth more than that all by themselves.
And that really shines a light on the underlying reality here. These strategies we've talked about, these very careful, control-focused paths, they're not just smart business. They are a response to playing in a system where access to capital, to credit, to the right networks, it just wasn't distributed equally. You don't take wild gambles when the game is already tilted. You build a fortress.
So, here we are, with these different maps of power laid out. And what's clear is that every single route has a price. Some will cost you years of your life. Others might cost you your reputation or just your peace of mind. But what we know for sure is that none of this is an accident. Power is engineered. And so the real question is, when you look at these blueprints, which route is the one that's most compelling to you?